What's that?
Can I be first?
No, no, there's a guy back there shaking his head. All right.
Hey Nick, how do
Oh,
you
rude.
how do you tell
different.
when players are fully bought in and that they're still giving all the maximum effort you want?
I know our guys, and we're with them every single day. We've been, and we've been through a lot of ups and downs here. And because of the guys, because of the relationships, because of what you witness every single day. That's how you know. And it's something that you know from being in meetings with them, being in walkthrough with them, being in practice field with them, being, outside of meetings with them, at lunch, all those different things.
How do you balance the, competitive nature of players who may, disagree with how a play goes or an offense goes, and how you guys are trying to get a game plan, even when it may work out or may not work out? How do you balance that?
Sure. Everything you do is you're just trying to explain the why of why things are in, why, hey, we're looking to attack a certain situation here or a certain situation there, or get the guy a ball here, or, run a certain defense here. And so you're just trying to explain the why on everything and where you are, and then detail it out as much as you possibly can. As far as, hey, we're doing this against this look, here's what we got to do. Against this look, here's what we got to do. And against this look, here's what we got to do. And then you talk through the plays together, and you talk through the things together, and everyone's going to have good suggestions. And at the end of the day, you got to put in what you think everyone can execute well, and what gives you the best chance to attack the defense or the offense.
Do you get more?
As far as the tackling issues, do you find a connection between the way you guys are practicing, and in particular at the Wednesday walkthroughs, and the tackling and the physicality?
Right now we are third in missed tackle percentage. We are 10.3. Dallas is number one. We were two going into last week, and so I don't see that as I see that as something that we didn't do well enough in last game. I don't see it as a problem, and we've had a couple games like that, right? But I don't see it as a problem because we're doing well at it at total, and we work at it. Even when the pads are not on, or we're walking through on a Wednesday, we still work on those fundamentals that go along with it. And you guys know, this has been a 2-year, or this is our third year, and you guys know that, we have walkthroughs on Wednesdays, in December. And that's not something new to this year. It's been what we've done to make sure that guys stay fresh, guys stay healthy. I think we're going to have an opportunity to have everybody up this week. And so, and that's a sign of how good the doctors and the trainers and the strength staff are. Because so there is a balance though of wanting to get that work done, and then also making sure guys are healthy to go. And so again, it was a problem in this last game. We didn't do a good enough job in that, and the way we taught tackling, and also the way we executed tackling. But I don't see it as a problem for the season. And again, going back to the health of our team, we're in a good spot as far as our health of our team right now.
Going back to your explaining why you do certain things, do more people ask why when you go through a stretch like this? Do more players start asking why?
No, because that's something you do each and every time. Again, we don't change our process or what we do based off of our results, right? That's win or lose. And so we've been doing that since the beginning. Hey, this is in versus this coverage because of this. And I'm speaking as an offensive coach right now. But no, because we just haven't. We've been consistent as far as that goes, and I think that when you and let's talk about why we do that in the first place. Why do we explain the why? Because when players understand the why, there's a higher level of knowledge of what we're doing, and so that's always been something that we've always thought about of explaining that. Again, not every time is it going to be, oh, that's exactly how we think we should do it too, or whatever, but. But you're at least explaining that to get the higher level of knowledge of, than what it was probably 20 years ago. I'll say to my dad, well, why are we doing this? And I was running track for him or something. He's like, because I said, and so we don't do it. It's just, and then you don't understand the why. It's just a different way of coaching, a different philosophy. And I think that's more prevalent here now in 2024.
Nick, with this stretch of a lot of tough losses and going into the final regular season game, trying to get right for the playoffs, what is your message to the team.
Yeah, just stick, boom, again today, boom, again today, boom, again today, and just being locked into where we are. Like, there's no magic. There's no magic to this. Like, what that, hey, we do this or that. Like, if we knew exactly what it was, these last couple weeks, we would have done that. So it's about going to work every single day and being locked into the details of the meeting, and being locked into the walkthrough, and being full speed to the snap and walkthrough, and being having a high intensity practice, and to be committed to our core values. And so there's no, like, the daily grind. How does somebody get good at anything throughout the course of a year or throughout the course of their life? It's from daily repetitive processes, boom, over again, that you're looking to gain, a little bit each day. So you're ready to go on Sunday and you're ready to play good at the end of the year.
What kind of
Nick,
advice?
going
What kind of
back to-
advice? What kind of advice did you receive from Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie during the defensive coordinator switch?
Just, hey, do what you feel like you need to do.
And did you have to run it by them before you made the decision?
I talked to those guys about everything. But, they're going to, Mr. Lurie from day one, Howie from day one, have always said to me, do what you think, you're tied into this, do what you think's best to do to help us win a football game. And we got your back and your support. We're going to always back you for everything, and anything that you do, we're going to always back you. And I really do appreciate that from both of those guys. And I felt that from day one. I felt that in that decision. I still feel that right now today.
Nick, going back to your analogy of having the fear of flying and looking at the stewardess that has the steady hand, how do you feel like your leadership has reflected that this year? And is there an area where you're trying to show improvement now?
Like I said to you, I didn't feel like I did a good enough job on that in the game against the Giants 2 weeks ago, and I need to be better at that. We're all a work in progress, right? You're never going to be exactly what you want to be. You're always in this progression of where you're going, and I've tried to be the same guy every day as far as what we do, and put our head down and work today with the detail of the meetings. I guess you can ask the players that.
Is it just that Giants game, or is it like a game day in general you're trying to improve there? Or?
No, I think it was that Giants game is where I felt that.
You said you had a vision. You said you had a vision of. Could have everybody up. Do you have a vision of what your defense will look like in that scenario, and how much better do you think it can be when everybody is up?
Yeah, obviously, with Slay being out right now, with Zach being out right now, those are really good players. And when you can get, all hands on deck, we got some great backups too. But when you get all hands on deck, obviously, you get deeper at each position, and you get good playmakers back onto the field. So excited for when they are. I think the thing that we always want to be on defense is physical. We always want to be able to limit the explosive plays, and we want to be able to take the football away. And so, and each game plan looks a little bit different, whether it's you're stocking everything in to stop the run, stopping a certain quarterback, stopping a certain receiver. Every game looks a little bit different. So it's hard to say, hey, this is exactly, what you want the defense to look like. But defense always goes on the physicality, explosive plays, and then also taking the football away.
When you say you don't change your process based off your results, when the results are consistent in the problems, how do you know those aren't process related?
Say that again?
You said we don't change our process based off our results, win or loss. Whenever the results.
Yeah. So the process of how you go to work every day, how you meet every day, like you can tweak things, but it's still the process of hear me out here now. Still the process of being highly detailed in meetings, right? I don't give a crap what's going on. You have to have detail in meetings, starting with the coaches, right? And then going to the players so that they understand exactly what we're expecting for each different look. That doesn't matter if you're 0 whatever or undefeated. Detail, detail, detail. Then it goes to the full speed to the snap and walkthrough. I don't give a what we are out there and what our what our record is or anything, what losing streak or winning streak it goes, we're going to go out there and we're going to work our minds on the detail of what's going on full speed to the snap out there in walkthrough. and then high intensity at practice. The only way to get better is going out to practice and working every single day. There's so many different things that you can adapt. You adapt schedules, like Wednesday practice. You adapt, hey, we're leaving on a West Coast trip here. You adapt schemes. Process of what the way you go about these things, and being committed to your core values is the last one, and getting better and trying to get better at those each day. Those things will never change. Those 4 things right there. Those 4 things in that process, those are things that you double down on. That's the only way I know how to get better. That's the only way this team knows how to get better, is to double down on those. When I say process, I mean those 4 things, because of course, like, there's a part of a meeting that I'm going to change here to adapt to something, or to not change is stupid, right? But I'm talking about the core beliefs and the core values of how you get better. That doesn't change.
How much of what happened defensively had to do with changing the coordinator and him implementing new ideas and
Yeah, I didn't see it. What I saw and what happened in that game is, as far as that particular game, where with the running of the football again, there was times that they schemed us up, right? That they had a good scheme on versus our defense. There was times that the run fit wasn't correct, right? And so when the run fit's not correct, that's the detail that I'm talking about, right? So the coaches have to do a great job of describing exactly what that is, and the players have to do a great job of executing it. And then like Zach asked, we had some uncharacteristic missed tackles. And so to me, those were the issues of that game. And it wasn't, to me, it's not about, the change of scheme or lack thereof or whatever it is. It's about those issues right there. And again, I'll give credit to, especially number 6 over there. Like he made some really good runs that forced us to have on some uncharacteristic missed tackles.
Is the number 3 receiver, was Julio's playing time an indication of a shift there?
Yeah, again, you guys have asked about Julio, and I try to, I'm not going to say exactly what his play count is, but we have him on a pitch count of some sorts, to make sure that he's playing at the level that he's capable of playing, and because he's like, man, he's a great teammate, he's a great player, he's a great person. I'm really excited that he's on this football team, and we saw him make 2 unbelievable plays in that game. And just because Quez had played a lot in these last 2 games doesn't mean that he's not a factor as well with his speed. It's just the way these last 2 games have went. And then OZ, I told you guys this before, that OZ has a role on this team, and I'll always have a room for a guy like OZ with the way how hard he plays and how tough he is and how scrappy he is. Like, he's special in that aspect. So it's still by Zach. It's still by committee. It's still those guys. All 3 of those guys working. And I wouldn't say like this guy is the number 3. They're all going to be the number 3. And we'll see with Devontae this week. If Devontae can't go, then you have to find different ways. Whether it's 12 personnel, whether that's those guys playing a little bit more. We'll see. But, I am pleased with those guys, and they've each made plays in their own way this season.
Nick,
What
you've
have you
talked
found
about
from like Eli and Keely playing a lot these last 3-4 weeks? I mean, what have you found out about them as far as their readiness in case if you need them in the playoffs and everything?
Yeah, and we are going to need them in the playoffs. Eli has done a good job since day one that he's got here. This is why he made the team of covering, right? He can cover guys. And that obviously is the main skill, right? When you talk about a wide receiver, you talk about he can really catch it. Well, if you can't catch it, it's going to be tough, right? If you can't cover at corner, it's going to be tough. And he's had this knack since day one of being able to cover. And then and so that's really, evident, and we see it, and he's done a nice job, and he's continuing to get better. And I think, like, I go back to him having to go against Devontae and AJ and Dallas, and Julio all the time, right? That's helped him. That's really helped him. And then as far as Keely, you just see his size and his speed and his physicality. I think you've seen, like, he had a play the other day in the game where they ran a little bubble, and he put his hands on the receiver and kind of drove him back to allow everybody else to make a play. And that's something we've seen from Keely, his physicality. his toughness, his willingness to strike out there. And so they both bring unique aspects, and we got a lot of confidence in them, and we're excited that they're here on this team, and I really look forward to continue watching them grow, and for them to continue to help us win football games moving forward.
What do you think of the players doing the escape
Some of
game?
the guys have talked about having difficult conversations over this stretch of the losses. Do you see the veterans and the captains really engaged, maybe even this week, with difficult conversations, accountability, and things like that?
Yeah, everybody wants to win. Everybody in the from this group, everybody wants to win, and they're willing to do anything to win. And if that's have tough conversations, it's then have tough conversations. If it's to go out there, what I know about these guys, I ask them to go out there and practice their butts off. They'll do what they're going to do anything they can do to win. And so whatever they feel like that is, they'll do, and that included.
What do you think of the AJ's having the escape room thing with players on Friday? And
yeah, obviously, really, that's so cool that he's reaching out to his teammates and wanting to connect with his teammates and do things off the field. That's special, and AJ's special. AJ, like I said, I've always told you guys, AJ's a special person. AJ's a special teammate. And obviously we all see, those are things that you don't see with AJ, you guys don't get to see, that we do get to see, right? Of how special of a teammate he is, how special of a person he is. We all get to see, all of us in this city and in the world, get to see how special of a football player he is. But what I, again, go back to him is he's special in all three of those categories: teammate, leader, person, and as a player. And so, it didn't surprise me that he did that because of all those things. And that's one of his ways that he wants to help this team, do whatever he can do to help this team win by bringing guys close together.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, guys.